What is up, guys? It's Swammer here, back again with some more Go Battle League action. This time, going to be checking out the Kanto Cup. Um, Very happy that we're past the Little Cup. Wasn't a huge fan of that meta. Kanto Cup, I've done a few battles, a few different teams, and I'm finding it much more interesting. There's a lot of very interesting Pokemon that you can run. Things like Alolan Graveler, Alolan Raticate, things that you'd never imagine running in Open Great League are relevant. But way back in the Halloween Cup, I mentioned how this Alolan Marowak Double Charmer team would probably still have some play in the Kanto Cup. And so today I'm going to be showing you guys that team. It does not work quite as well as it did in the Halloween Cup, but it is still an interesting team to run. So let's go ahead and get into the battles. So I am just ranked 9 in these battles, but I am ranked 10 now. We have Mew on the lead. This is an okay matchup, but I'd prefer to come back in with potentially an energy advantage. So I'm going to safe swap into my Wigglytuff. And then they bring in their Hypno. So this is not great, but not the worst. We can get in a lot of charm damage with the Hypno. And we are going to be able to likely force a shield here or win switch advantage. We do force a shield. They are unfortunately going to be able to farm up a lot of energy. So we're going to come in with the Marowak, and we have to respect that Shadow Ball. We do successfully shield the Shadow Ball, which is very good for us. We kind of want to farm down. I was worried they were going to get to another Shadow Ball there, so I actually go ahead and try and swap into the Clefable to catch it. But they bring in their Mew. This is okay for us, but we still don't know what they have in the back. They get to a wild charge, which we successfully shield, but they're going to get to another charge move here, which isn't great for us. It is another wild charge, so we can go ahead and shield that, or go ahead and survive that and charm down. We've got a Meteor Mash ready for whatever's coming in. It is an Alolan Muck, so this is definitely not great. We're going to be able to get the shield here, but they're going to be able to farm us down, and that's going to be really bad for our Alolan Marowak. We can go for the Bone Club, but they've got a Dark Pulse here, which is almost going to take us out, and we just do not have enough damage to be able to take them out in time. We might survive long enough to get to another Bone Club. They actually swap in their Hypno and have a charge move ready, so that's going to be a good game. Well played by my opponent there. Um, the one that is definitely one of the things I've noticed as a weakness with this team is that switching in Wigglytuff allows them to come in with Hypno and potentially leave that matchup with a lot of energy, and you have nothing really to absorb that energy where you might want to have, like, say, a Snorlax. So Wigglytuff on the lead. This is pretty good. We can stay in for a while, and then we actually want to save our Alolan Marowak and try and draw out whatever their counter to the Charmer is. So I'm going to swap in the Wigglytuff. They throw the Play Rough. I do have to shield it. It is an Alolan Sandslash coming in, so definitely good on them to get this out of the way so that Alolan Marowak does not see it. But they do actually go ahead and shield that, which is pretty good for us, to be honest, because what it's going to mean is we can let this go. They do definitely have a Bulldoze, but we can shield up this Bulldoze and then just Fire Spin twice, likely, and that will be enough to take them out. And now we've got tons of energy on our Alolan Marowak. We're going to go ahead and swap right into Clefable. We don't want to waste our energy throwing Bone Clubs against this Wigglytuff, and then they have an Alolan Marowak in the back. We're going to be able to go for Psychic. This is going to force them to shield. They do shield, and they're likely going to have to throw something at us if they want to take us out. No, they're actually going to commit to farming all the way down, and now we can just go straight for a Bone Club. We do win CMP, fortunately, which is all we need, and that's going to be enough to take them out. Certainly could have gone for Shadow Bone there, but both there it really came down to which Marowak won CMP because we both had so much energy that you know we were each at 100 energy, I think. So, all right, So Marowak versus Marowak. What I usually like to do here is just go straight for the Shadow Bone. I'll usually shield whatever they throw if they throw right away. If they don't throw right away, I will generally switch into Wigglytuff as soon as I can. So I do switch into Wigglytuff there. They didn't throw right away. And they're throwing now, so totally fine to absorb this charge move on Wigglytuff. They have to go for the not very energy efficient Bone Club or the double resisted Shadow Bone or Shadow Ball. And they actually come in now with Lapras. This Surf is going to get me very low. So we're still going to be able to make it to the play rough. Very important there that I undertapped. If I had overtapped, I would not have been able to get off that charge move. And now we can come in with likely the Alolan Marowak here because it is resisting the ice shards. We will have to shield up a Surf because Surf would be dealing a ton of damage. But I think that we're going to be able to commit to the farm down here and leave with a lot of energy on our Alolan Marowak. Alright, Alolan Marowak is coming back in. Going to go straight for the Shadow Bone here. We have a huge energy advantage, so we should be able to convert this into a win. We are going to shield up this charge move, but it is just a Bone Club bait. We did get the defense drop on this Alolan Marowak, though, so I'm going to go for the Bone Club, since I think that might be pretty close to enough. It's not actually enough damage, but we can swap into Clefable, get one Charm in, and now they've got a Hypno in the back. We're going to be able to get to this Meteor Mash, which is going to deal a lot of damage to Hypno. Shadow Ball is not enough to take us out, and then Meteor Mash here is likely going to be taking out the Hypno, and then I think probably one Charm, oh no, two Charms is enough, but they needed two Fire Spins, so it's a simultaneous KO, and our Alolan Marowak in the back gives us the win. All right, getting into match number 3 here, or match number 4, I think, actually, yeah. So, definitely still enjoying this team, but, you know, it's not great because you don't have a punish for the super common Alolan Muck safe switch. I definitely think there's room for improvement on this team. We get another Alolan Marowak on the lead. You guys are going to see a lot of this, a lot of Alolan Mucks too. And we're going to go straight for the Shadow Bone. They make a mistake here and just go immediately for Bone Club, so I definitely don't need to shield this. So I'm going to build up some extra energy and now go for Shadow Bone, hoping that they do not shield. They do shield. We do get the defense fell, though, and we're going to go for a Shadow Bone here again. So this is going to either take them out or get both shields, and now we're going to swap and preserve both of our shields. We get defense fell again, so these Charms are actually dealing a ton of damage to this Marowak. They go for the Bone Club, happy to let them use their energy here, and then they swap in Haunter, and Haunter is resisting Charms, but it's so squishy that it really doesn't seem like it. I successfully call the Shadow Punch bait here, and that was, you know, again, not. It was a pretty obvious bait given that I had two shields, so that was fortunate for me that they didn't go for the Sludge Bomb, but it was a really good opportunity to bait, and it was pretty much their win condition was to successfully bait, so just recognizing that was enough to let me take that game. And then two shields on a Charmer against Alolan Muck is definitely more than enough, so that's going to be a good game there. All right, getting into this last match, we have Alolan Muck on the lead, so this isn't great. The way I usually like to play this is to go for a Bone Club. We'll tie to the first move, and so I'm totally fine to let them to shield up a Dark Pulse. They don't get the Snarlin, which is really, really important. So Bone Club is getting another shield. We're going to go for a second Bone Club. We are going to beat them to this next Bone Club. Actually, no, we're going to build up and swap on the Dark Pulse. That's definitely the better play. You can either throw that Bone Club before swapping if you want, But really what you want to make sure that you can do is catch that Dark Pulse on the Charmer. And then this was too quick to be a Sludge Wave, so I knew it was just going to be another Dark Pulse, so I let it come through. And we're able to take out that Alolan Muck. They come in with Gyarados, which is a tell that whatever they have in the back is likely weak to a Charmer because I'm double resisting that Dragon Breath. So I'm going to go ahead and shield up the Aqua Tail because they're still not going to be able to Dragon Breath me down, I don't think. Not without taking a ton of Charm damage. So we are going to force them to use an Aqua Tail here, and we just got a ton more damage off on this Gyarados. We can now come in with our Alolan Marowak. They have a Kabutops in the back, which is a super spicy pick, a very interesting Pokemon. Shadow Bone's going to deal a lot of damage, and we actually get the defense debuff, so 3 Charms is more than enough to take out that Kabutops, and that is going to be a good game as my opponent surrenders rather than coming back in with the Gyarados. So able to go 4-1 in that set. So pretty good with this team. Overall, I'd say I'm just modestly above 50% win rate with this team so far in the Kanto Cup, but definitely an interesting one. I've seen some other people running Double Charmer with Shadow Vic on the lead, so definitely something else you can try. I'm going to pause the video here and talk a little bit about some of the announcements around the increase in level cap that have been made. So if you guys haven't seen, the level cap increase to 50 is coming. So there are some interesting implications for Go Battle League. First and foremost is, what does this mean for Master League? Well, it sort of depends on how they implement the extra large candy that are going to be required to power Pokemon up to level 50 and what the Stardust costs look like. But if the Stardust costs stay the same as they are or increase, then Master League is going to be basically inaccessible to all but the absolute most hardcore players. So I likely won't be participating in Master League anymore if that's the case. And I'm really hoping that they have alternatives. But to be honest, Master League was the worst league anyways, so this isn't necessarily a bad thing if it means that they're going to do more sort of themed cups like Halloween Cup or Kanto Cup. The other thing that it does mean is that some previous Pokemon that weren't relevant, like Pachirisu, because they maxed out at 1200, 1300 CP, might become relevant. So in Great League, you've got things like Pachirisu, you've got Chansey. There's probably a few more in that 1300 CP range that will have more play now. In Ultra League, there's a ton of Pokemon that max out in that sort of 21 to 2300 range. So Pokemon like Skarmory, like Altaria, Bronzong, all of those Pokemon now are going to max much closer to 2500, maybe a little above, and that's going to give them a lot of very interesting play in the Ultra League. So very curious to see how that shakes out. And again, a lot of whether this is positive or negative for Go Battle League will come down to the implementation of that extra large candy system. I think that if it's too difficult to obtain that candy, then it could be a negative, as it makes it difficult for people to potentially use the Pokemon that they want. But if it is reasonably easy, or at least plausible for everyone to obtain that extra large candy and get those Mons, those new Mons for Ultra or Great League, then it could be really interesting and add some new variety to both of those metas. So definitely curious to see how that goes. Now, for everybody out there that's thinking, oh man, I've got that 100 purified Sableye that I maxed out and best buddied and taught 2 moves to, and now it's going to be useless. Calm down. Just because now it might not be the optimal IV spread, instead of having that 15, 15, 15 Sableye at level 40, maybe now you need that 2, 15, 15 Sableye at level 49. I don't know what it's going to be. Even though it might not be optimal anymore, it does not mean that that Pokemon's useless. IVs, especially in the Ultra League and Great League, are often not super important, and they're definitely way, way overrated in terms of their importance. There are some matchups that having an optimal IV spread will flip versus a different one. But in most matches, it makes a difference of 2 or 3 HP, and in fact, in some matches, having the suboptimal IV spread will flip it in your favor because you'll reach a break point that otherwise you wouldn't have. So generally, it doesn't make all that much of a difference before you get too upset about all of those Pokemon like Sableye, like Medicham, or like Bastiodon, where you'd had, previously something that was close to 100% IVs and that is now going to be suboptimal. You can still absolutely use that Pokemon, and chances are you won't notice too much of a difference. So, um, very interested to see how exactly the implementation is done. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.